Well, hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Chicago. We're right at the noon hour here, Michigan Avenue. Okay, the Wrigley Building. The carbide and carbon looks nice in the sun. It's cold though. It's 12 degrees. 12 degrees or 15 degrees. What's the difference between 12 and 15 degrees Fahrenheit? Not much. Negative, what is that? 5 degrees, 5 to 10 degrees Celsius. We'll just say -5. Hey, Michigan Avenue, we just crossed Lake Street. And so, yeah, we'll just head by the ice skating rinks. We'll go by Millennium Park, being Maggie Daley. I know we did that yesterday. We'll go in the opposite direction, and then we'll go head to the lake. We'll cross the river, so the frozen river. I saw on my feed that the, here, let me turn on the comments. Hey, how you doing there, Chris? Denise? XRT fan there, winner. Beach please, Prince. Yeah, how you doing? Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks James, thanks for checking out the lunchtime stream. Yeah, we'll check on the 400 North Lakeshore development. We'll head over towards Ohio Street Beach. I don't know if we'll have time. We saw it already last week. It was frozen there. It was open water. The lake's trying to freeze over. I know I'm thankful I'm able to stream on YouTube. My phone, the cold got to I was at Oak Street Beach. We were streaming for about 45 minutes, and then my phone got so cold. Even though the battery wasn't out, it just, the stream went blank, and I panicked, and I couldn't shut off the live, so I used my other phone and tried to start a new one, and then we couldn't get that, so I switched to TikTok. So it shows you the progression that, for any reason, for a cold or battery or technical difficulties, if I lose my YouTube live stream, I'll try to get it back on YouTube. If I can't, I'll switch to TikTok. YouTube's the main. And so we'll head over to Millennium Park. You can live stream on Substack. The problem is the resolution's so poor. I would use Substack as my backup to YouTube, but we've tried it. I guess I got to do the same thing. I got to use a Streamlabs workaround. But hey, here we are, Michigan Avenue. There's the Smurfit Stone building. There's the Cultural Center. Hey, holiday deals. One-eyed monster. Yeah. So let's see what else is good. Wes is tuning in there. Yeah, Denise. That's everybody doing there. Yeah, it's a cold day. Beautiful but cold. So that's what happened. Yeah, my phone got cold. Well, okay, so this phone I'm using right now, it's pretty good in the cold, but the past few days when I walk home at night, we get about an hour and a half into the stream, and the battery drops precipitously because of the cold weather, and it'll catch me by surprise, and I won't be able to finish the lives. And so this morning I have a second phone, and I said, well, I'll try the second phone, and it was working like a charm until I got to Oak Street Beach, and the screen went blank, and I couldn't get it refreshed. See, they're working on they're installing a gate here for security access to Millennium Park. They're probably going to have some official function or concert or something, and they'll have a security checkpoint right there. That's what they're setting up for. Hey, the Christmas tree's dawn. Now we're back streaming. So I switched to TikTok. I know not everybody's got TikTok. If you follow me on YouTube, BrianReallyChicago.com on YouTube, please follow me on TikTok. If you got TikTok, if you want TikTok, I know not everybody wants TikTok. I don't know if I want TikTok. And Brian Really Chicago on TikTok. I got 97,000 followers, and so we switched to streaming on TikTok for the Michigan Avenue. For the rest, some people were able to find it. I know my mods, I should have messaged my mods, but I was all cold and fumbling around. And here, we'll head up to the bean. We'll see the snowy bean there. Here's people ice skating here on Millennium Park ice skating rink. Hey, they're playing Foo Fighters. I'm having a 90s flashback. But here's, hey, Chicago, Illinois. India, how you doing there? Hi, cricket. Yeah, playing cricket in India, that's great. It's like baseball, but cricket's the British version of an Indian. A lot of people in India and Pakistan play cricket. Actually, some of the best cricket players in the world come from India and Pakistan. Here's here's the Bean of Chicago. There's the L train. So there's the elevated train on Washington Street. There it's crossing. That's part of the loop in Chicago. Scenes of the city. Yeah, thanks for the respect and understanding. Florida, how you doing? Yeah, I heard it was even colder relatively. I know it's much warmer than we are. Even Miami, Florida was only in the 60s yesterday. Hopefully it's warmer where you're at in Florida. And India, yeah, a lot of people from India tuning in. That is great. Thanks for checking out Chicago. We're Chicago, Illinois, United States of America. And they call this Millennium Park. Here's the Bean. Anish Kapoor is the artist. Even though I think he has South Asian heritage, he lives in England. Anish Kapoor, the British artist that created this cloud gate. It looks interesting with the snow on it, doesn't it? Looks like an egg. So hey, it's not a bean, it's an egg today. It's an egg with the half shell. Ha! Look at the bean with the snow on it. Hey, thanks for tuning in to Chicago. We got January the 28th, 2026, 12:05 in the PM, just after the noon hour. California's tuning in. That's great. And we got 12 degrees Fahrenheit. We got about -5 Celsius. And we'll go over and knock on the Bean. Hopefully I don't knock a bunch of snow off. We'll see if the man at the Bean says hello. Yeah, it's pretty. Hey, thanks, Vanessa. Thanks for that beautiful scenery here. So the Bean, Millennium Park, Chicago. Yeah, we're just doing our lunch walk. So yeah, we're in Millennium Park, Chicago. That's if you. My routines. I'm pretty predictable. I travel in similar. Oh, they're taking pictures here. Let me go behind them. They're taking pictures. Yeah. Anytime you walk around the Bean, you're going to be in somebody else's picture. And same with me. I'll go up here and knock on it. So you can see yourself reflected. We'll check out the ice skating, but see how it's dripping. It's making stalactites and stalagmites. Hello, man at the Bean. I'm the man at the Bean. There's Brian Riley, Chicago. But hey, yeah, we're trying to stay warm. Real life. Yeah, this is not AI generated. Hey, they're ice skating. Everybody's hanging on to the rail. They're learning how to ice skate. See, people are checking out the ice skating rink here, Chicago, Illinois. There you see the diamond-shaped Smurfit Stone Container Building. Now it's just called 150 North Michigan. But here's the Millennium Park ice skating rink. January the 28th, 2026. We got. It seems like I'm repeating the time and temperature. There's a reason for that because people keep asking. If I don't say it, people still ask. It's 12 degrees Fahrenheit, -5 Celsius. And let's keep moving here because if I don't keep moving, I'm going to get cold. But hey, we'll walk right through the Bean here. Check it out. I like look how, yeah, the water runs down and it creates stalactites, stalagmites. And see if we get out of this picture so they can take the picture with themselves and the Bean. Yeah, look at the stalactites. The water's dripping on the bottom of the Bean. Look at that. Interesting scenes here. Yeah, India sounds like America. We got our own problems with the same stuff here. So here I was in everybody's way. I was backing into their picture. I apologize. I didn't mean to be in everybody's photo here. I gotta look at my surroundings. But hey, yeah, we're in Chicago, Illinois, United States of America. It's called Millennium Park. There's the Pritzker Bandshell. Frank Gehry was the architect. Sadly passed away recently. And yeah, I'm going to attempt to head over the BP Bridge. I know they got it kind of blocked off because of the snow. But yesterday we were able to sneak through there. Hopefully we'll be able to pass. But hey, check out the snow. It looks like they're calling for more snow on Friday. I don't know. But hey, thanks to everybody that gave your support to Ernesto. His family's going through a hard time there. and he's up in Minneapolis. They have a death in the family. I was talking about it this morning. I don't need to belabor it. I talked about it at length on YouTube. You can watch the rerun from the sunrise this morning that was cut short, and then I did it on TikTok as well, but I know you can't watch the rerun of that. I might cut out, well, you see why I stream on YouTube now. We knew there was going to be issues with TikTok when this transition Oracle. A lot of big name followers. Wolf, they're kicking Wolf off the platform. He's saying finally good riddance to TikTok. You can follow him on YouTube and Instagram and Substack. A lot of people with 400,000 followers, they're deleting their account on TikTok because they're worried about tracking. Now, TikTok always tracked you, but people felt more comfortable with China tracking than the United States, especially with ICE. Isn't that amazing? This is just hey, look how nice and silvery everything looks. See, they really cleaned up remember they were starting to get rusty. Look how nice they look. They replaced all the structure for the arches for the speakers, the speaker system here. Here, we'll head around. How you doing? So here we'll head around. We'll go across the BP bridge here. Nobody calls it that. I just noticed that that's what the official branding is. Yeah, it looks like they really don't want people walking across here. And it's such a shame because, you know, this is the best way to get from one side to the other. And so put everything back the way it was. So here we'll try to head to Maggie Daley ice skating ribbon here, Chicago, Illinois. I understand the liability. They don't want anybody to slip and fall and sue the city. I'm not going to do that. I realize sometimes it's like swim at your own risk. It's like the guy. Did you see that? The guy that one of the guys that always goes into Lake Michigan in the wintertime, he has a girlfriend or some other female friend that is with him there, and they were in swimwear, and they climbed into this ice cave in the middle of Lake Michigan there, or not the middle, on the beach of Lake Michigan, some of the beaches, and they were in this ice cave in the water. I'm just like, man, their tolerance for cold water is something else. I would have a heart attack. Be running out of that water so fast. Yeah, Millennium Park. Let's see. Yeah, thanks for subscribing, hitting the thumbs up. Thanks, Grandma's Corner. Everybody, for Anita and One Golden Newbie, and everybody, thanks for checking out the live stream here. Hey, you miss Chicago. Chicago misses you. Here, that's where we're heading. We're going over to the Maggie Daley ice skating ribbon. We got 1213 crossing Columbus. Yeah, there's a nice view to the blue skyline of Chicago. You can see this bridge we just crossed. Get you over Columbus Drive. It's nice with the sunshine, snow. It's 12 degrees, 12 to 15 degrees Fahrenheit, -5 Celsius approximately. Or maybe it's -10 Celsius, I don't even know. No, can't be that bad. Hey Wayne, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Rob, Sabrina Suburban Garden, ADEKABO. Yeah. So they're playing the music, people are ice skating, even 12-degree weather, people are outside ice skating. Yeah, awesome views of the city. Here, I'll get you some more views here. There we go. Check out that skyline. Corporate power, right? As much as I complain about corporate power. Poland. Yeah, Poland. How you doing there? Thanks for tuning in. Cat Katowice, Kataowice. Thanks for tuning in there. May, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in from England. Yeah, I heard that the Church of England has a new female leader. That's an amazing precedent. I commend the British people are much less misogynistic than America. America has problems with female leaders, at least England, probably because of the tradition with the queens, like Queen Elizabeth II and Queen Victoria. And England does much better at electing female leaders like Margaret Thatcher and the new Church of England Archbishop or whatever she is there. United States is still has patriarchy issues. Talk to J.D. Vance. It's very strange. I think it somehow was wrapped into American style Christian nationalism, which goes back to the barefoot and pregnant era of American sexual relations. No, I'm being overly dramatic. It's not that bad, but I'm sure it's very interesting that the political divide in America is now even on gender lines. There's more likelihood of, if you're a man of a certain age, you support Trump. And if you're a female of all ages, it's likely you're not a Trump supporter. So what does that tell you? Yeah, but it's you know, no cohort's monolithic. There's women for Trump. There's men like me that are not for Trump, that fit the demographic, even though I'm a white guy, whatever that means. It's how you're perceived in society is what it is. It doesn't matter what you identify yourself, it's how the world identifies you. Talk to the indigenous people being profiled by ICE. It's horrible what's going on. And again, our thoughts go out to Ernesto and his family. They're grieving with the loss in the family. Hopefully I didn't mean to divulge too much information. Hopefully Ernie's okay with it there, but people were talking about it. We got to talk about this stuff. Just every once in a while I do have to talk about uncomfortable things, as we all know. Yeah, thanks, James. I'm with you there. You know, we're a very divided nation. You know, you see, like in the comments, some people love what's going on. They're like, this is exactly what I voted for. I don't think they voted for people to be killed in the street, but I think you understand what I'm saying. And they think that it's a harsh tactics have to support a harsh policy, you know. And it's just, we'll see where public sentiment goes. I sense public sentiment shifting on this one issue, you know, and not that, you know, not that I don't expect drastic changes for the next 3 years anyway. The damage is already done. We're gonna have to just ride it out. But hey, if you just joined, we're in Chicago. We're by the Maggie Daley Park here. This is called the Maggie Daley Ice Skating Ribbon, and it's a circular track. It kind of goes up and down and undulates. They got some coffee here. They get some coffee. Here's where you can rent your skate, or you can rent your skates where that trailer is. You can put them on. There's restrooms, and you can jump right on the. There's lockers in there. You can jump right on the ice skating rink. You can get one of these little snowmen if you need somebody to guide you here. And that's all supervised. You can lace up your skates. I think if you bring your own skates, you can skate for free, at least the first time. Otherwise, you just got to rent skates. It's pretty steep. But here's the Maggie Daley Ice Skating Ribbon here in Chicago, Illinois. 12 degrees, 12 to 15 degrees Fahrenheit, -5 Celsius, or somewhere in that range. But hey, it's nice to see people skating on even a cold day in the sunshine. Hey, have a nice day. Jessica, how you doing there? Still haven't visited the skate park? Hey, there's still time. At least you're watching it virtually. Thanks for tuning in there. Yeah, it's been here. It's not going anywhere. There's a nice view to the Sears Tower, straight through to the skyline of Chicago from the Maggie Daley Ice Skating Ribbon. See people skating around here. And then there's where the Zamboni drives in the garage there. Hey, here comes people skating. How you doing? It's either going down the hill. It's hard going down the hill because you don't realize any little undulation. You know, you really start picking up speed. So we'll head over to Lakeshore East. We'll see if we can make it across the river. I don't think, I might not have time to go to Ohio Street Beach. We might just see the frozen river. Somebody I work with said they saw the ice cutter coming down the Chicago River. That's why the ice is broken up. So probably overnight the ice does freeze over, and then the ice cutter comes through and creates a path for the boats. Maybe they're doing it for the hot tub boat. Yeah, have a good day. Yeah, San Antonio was nice. I posted a rerun from, last time I was in San Antonio was 2004 Christmas time. We were on the Riverwalk. We saw some Spanish missions. I live streamed from some of the 7 Spanish missions, World UNESCO Heritage Sites there in San Antonio. But yeah, the Riverwalk's beautiful. Even in wintertime, they got palm trees and stuff. I know it was a little cold. It was like in the 30s, right? You got a cold snap in Texas, just like we got a cold snap here. It got cold all the way to Corpus Christi and Brownsville. But it's wintertime, January. You got even the high yesterday in Miami, Florida, was only 65 degrees. I noticed that. But yeah, 55 degrees. That's not too bad. 55 degrees is not bad. Thanks, Rampage. Yeah. So Houston, yeah. So we did a lot of live streaming in the Houston area too. Woodlands. I was down there for the holidays. But here, yeah, we're in Chicago. This is the Genie Gang St. Regis Tower. It's got a hotel and condos. We'll cross the street here, Field Boulevard. We'll head down into the park there at Lakeshore East. There's the bus stop. This is the housing. So these buildings were here before Lakeshore Drive was smoothed out, the curve there, the S curve. Well, it's cold, so there's not many people even in the summertime. So you can imagine when it's really bitterly cold, 12 to 15 degrees, there aren't many people out walking around. There's people, everybody's inside working from home. And it shows you we're not in New York. If we were in New York City, there'd be many more people on the street, I know. But Chicago, you can really spread out. I mean, you know, as you see by my live streams, usually wherever I go, people are shocked there's not many more people on the street with this many high-rises. And it maybe was a little bit more crowded before the pandemic, but even then it wasn't as crowded as, I mean, like in the 90s it was more crowded. I mean, Michigan Avenue gets crowded sometimes, but the South Street's not as crowded as it used to be because all those financial services became electronic. Algorithms, they stopped the open outcry. Not as many people work downtown, not as many people take the Metro. It all has an impact. There, Benton Place, Field Boulevard. There's the Aqua, there's the Aeon. But it makes it easier for me to live stream when there's less people, actually. We got the whole place to ourselves. Here, yeah, it's like the invasion of the body snatchers. Where'd everybody go? There's the Aeon. Blue Cross Blue Shield. Yeah, there's a good view to the St. Regis. Here, let's head across here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head up to the Chicago River. We'll see if there's ice on the river, and then we'll head over towards the bridge. We'll be able to see towards the lake, and then we'll check on the... I think a year ago I posted construction progress of the 400 North Lakeshore. I might do an update, so we'll show what it looked like a year ago and how far they progressed in 1 year. And so we might do a rerun on that. Here's a playground here. Yeah, see, they're playing 12 degrees, they're swinging. Hey, there's the news crew. Look at this nice view you get across here, the Aqua, the Aeon. This park's, I call this Lakeshore East Park. I don't know if that's the official name or not. There's the Gems World Academy. And when I moved to Chicago, none of this, most of this was not here. You know, there's only a few buildings over there. And most of this was hey, Telemundo. How you doing? Hey, thanks for, yeah, that's great. So here, we're heading through here. They got the news broadcasters here. They're reporting. I think it was Telemundo. And here we're, there you can see the Sears Tower. This used to be a golf course driving range. It was a 3-hole golf course with a driving range. It was land banked. It used to be railroad yards. We'll head through here. We'll see if this guy's gonna stop. How you doing? So you can walk right underneath the Genie Gang. He's the architect. We're the St. Regis here. If I lose my connection, it's because there's literally 1,100 feet of building above us. We're walking underneath it. I hope it doesn't collapse. Yeah, there's usually more people on the weekend. Yeah, it depends on where you go. You know, wintertime, it's not as crowded. There'll be more people in the summertime, especially the summer tourist season downtown. We get more domestic tourists in Chicago, New York, and Las Vegas. Get more international. We're like Nashville, Chicago. We get more domestic. People just taking family trips and stuff, going to the museums and the concerts. But the only advantage of visiting Chicago this time is the hotels are cheaper because the weather's so cold. So you can get some really the cheapest hotel stays this time of year, especially if they got an indoor pool. Go to the Intercontinental, you can use their indoor pool on the 17th floor. There's where they tow the cars. So if your car gets towed, here's the lower level of Wacker Drive. And they tow your car over there, the city impound lot, one of them. And see, we're on the third lowest level of Wacker Drive, lower Wacker. Lower Wacker's above us. That connects to South Lakeshore Drive, and then above there is Upper Wacker, which ends about where we're at, where the St. Regis is. Have you seen the Blues Brothers, the Untouchables, Transformers, Batman? They used all this area down here. Yeah, Pyrex Corning. So here's a playground. Here's the frozen Chicago River. So we'll show the frozen Chicago River. We're over by, we're across from the Centennial Fountain. So there's Fairbanks. Yeah, good afternoon. How you doing there, Nisi? Yeah, get your steps in, yeah. Well, I got all this nervous energy. I got to walk it off. Hey, here's your frozen Chicago River, and the reason it's all broken up like that, it froze over probably overnight, and like I said, I missed it. Supposedly an ice cutter came through here and cut it up, so I guess the ships can still get through even with this. I don't see any ships coming through here, so we'll keep on going. So here's Chicago River. We got 12 degrees, -5 Celsius, 12:27 in the PM. Yeah, it's like a puzzle. Yeah, it's a bunch of ice puzzle pieces. That's the Chicago River. Back to the Trump Tower and the Wrigley Building. They will say hello to Darren Monroe. There's the new house. So there's the new 400 North Lakeshore. So just in a year, look how far it's progressed. It's probably about 50 plus stories now. We watched that thing come out of a hole in the ground. Literally, it was the hole for the Chicago Spire. It was supposed to be the Calatrava Spire, 2,000 foot tall drill bit, never got built. Site stood vacant for 15 years. Finally, new developer bought it. They want to build 2 high-rise towers. That's the first one. And it's called 400 North Lakeshore. It's just north of the Chicago River and Lakeshore Drive. So we'll cross there. Yeah, I don't know who I think it's Clark Construction. I'll get you the contractors when I get over there. They got signs. We'll walk across the river and we'll check it out here. Yeah, there's fish in the river. There's always people fishing in the river. I don't know if I would fish in the river, but if, you know, fish at your own risk. Yeah, there's usually in the summertime and even in late into the fall, you see people fishing on the Riverwalk here. So you just need a Illinois fishing license like anywhere else. And you probably can get away with it. Somebody will ask you, game warden, or somebody will see ask if you got a license. 7 years, Washington State. Yeah, Washington. Some are apartments and some are... No, these are... Oh, sorry. These are going to be luxury apartments, I think. Most of this is condos, like where Darren Monroe's building, it's condos. That's condos, Lakeshore East. Oprah used to have a condo there. But this... I think this is mostly going to be luxury rental. I think a lot of the new construction, just the way the interest rates are now, everything's luxury rental. It was funny, when I moved to Chicago in 1999, everything was condos. They would buy an apartment building and turn it to condo. But now that was, you know, and then we went through the low interest rates after 9/11, and zero interest rates for like 15 years, but that's all over. And I know it wasn't zero, but it was low. So if you want to know local real estate prices, there's many web pages. You can go to apartments.com, or you could go to Zillow, check out real estate prices. You can type in zip codes. Like, for example, I'm in the zip code 60601 right now. That's the zip code for downtown Chicago. It'll list the average condo price by square footage, apartments by bedroom, what the rates are. I don't really know off the top of my head. You could talk to Nick Koiken. He's a real estate agent. There's other live streamers that are real estate agents. There's a really good guy on the south side. I need to commit his name to memory. His daughter's starting to get into politics. That's great. And I don't know how he's going to do that, because I always commended him and looked up to him because he was able to keep unlike me, he was able to keep his real estate business separate from his political feelings. But now his daughter's going to be associated with a political party, so good luck with that. Here's welcome to America. Here's Chicago River frozen over. We got January the 28th, 2026. We're going to cross to check out the 400 North Lakeshore development. There it is, and that's the former Calatrava site. Look at it, it's nearing the topping out there. We got 12:31 in the PM here. 12 degrees Fahrenheit, -5 degrees Celsius. So imagine when we could see people sitting outside eating a taco Rio. We got a couple more months for that. So you get to Navy Pier this way. You got to cross the river, no matter how you do it, or swim it. Here, we'll head across the steps. But yeah, we're going to head over and check out this thing, as we do probably about once a week. We check this out. Man, it's quite cheap. There you go. Median sale price, $350,000. Thanks, D. Michael. Yeah, $248,000 more affordable. Thanks for the good information, D. Michael. I really appreciate it. Thanks everybody for helping out. Thanks for looking that up, because I can't keep all that stuff in my head. I don't want to tell people the wrong information, and they'll be like, well, Brian, really, Chicago said this. Like, yeah, I don't have my notes. Gotta have the Chat GPT glasses feeding me all the information. Hey, there's the 400 North Lakeshore. Hey, look at the river. Yeah, so here, let me switch hands. So, if you just joined, we're in Chicago. We're on the lower level of the bridge that crosses Chicago River from Lakeshore Drive. And that's looking straight west towards the Trump Tower. There's the St. Regis. They've got ice. 12 degrees, 15 degrees Fahrenheit, -5 Celsius. There's the 400 North Lakeshore, so we're going to check on that, and we'll do an update. Nelios. Yeah, it is cold, Mr. Donga. Almost border, great Wednesday. Yeah, scary place. Scary place. So how could a... Because, you know, I consider myself a left-leaning, woke. I don't know if I call myself a Democrat. I'm kind of angry at the Democratic Party. But, you know, you understand cities are scary places, and they were scary places for a long time. They're still scary, and they will continue to be scary. How can we have a great country without great cities? I don't know either. Here's the 400 North Lakeshore here in Chicago. And they're doing construction here. I can't even count the floors anymore. I'll do it in post-production. I'll count the floors. I think there are 50 some floors here, 400 North Lakeshore, Chicago, Illinois. We got January the 28th, 2026. So in a year, this thing has gone from being a hole in the ground to being 600 feet tall at least. And here, let's head across here. So I'm going to the sign. So if you could stay on for one more minute, I'll show you the contractor sign. They used to have a rendering on it of what the two towers going to look like, but they took that rendering away, and I think it's because they altered the design. Here's the here's the mud, the cement mixer. Here comes a flatbed truck on hauling stuff. Here's the laydown area for the construction site. So yeah, up there where that ramp goes down, there's a construction sign. And again, I can't keep everything in my head. I'll get you the name of the contractor. Just bear with me here. I know you asked that before. Here's yeah, look at that thing. It's over under. There's Navy Pier that way. At 12:35. Jeff, how you doing there, Christy? Scotland, how you doing? Yeah, where are the construction workers? There's construction workers there. There's construction workers there. Are you satisfied? You're not satisfied. You know, look, there's people in cars. I'm walking outside. No one else is. I'm the only person dumb enough to be out here. If you got hot looking up, yeah, it's a tall building. The bike shield the pedestrians. Good luck with that. So hey, we're almost to. Now look, they might have took the construction sign down. Here it is. Proud union labor. This job built with union labor. LR contracting. LR contracting. You see that? LR contracting. Required working. When working. Here it is. It's probably hard to see. It's so. BOWA. BOWA. BOWA Construction. LR Contracting Company. 400 North Lakeshore. So it's LR Contracting. LR Contracting, BOWA Construction, 400 North Lakeshore. There it is. Let me get in the shadow here. If I get in the shadow, it's hard to film it in the sun here. Yeah, it could have been an ice pickup truck. Yeah, and ice is not police. We know that. But hey, we're underneath the Sapo Lakeshore Drive. We'll head down to the Ogden Slip here. What time we got? 12:37. So I'm going to try to make a quick dash over to Ohio Street Beach to see the frozen lake, and then we're going to have to run back to the office because I'm barely going to have enough time to do it. But hey, I'm already this far, so let's see if we can see the frozen lake. We already saw the frozen river. But there's your update. There's your 400 North Lakeshore development. It's about 50 some stories tall. It's not quite topped out. They're almost topping it out. We got January the 28th, 2026, 12:37 p.m. We got 12 degrees to 15 degrees Fahrenheit, -5 Celsius. Hit the thumbs up if you like this. Thanks for tuning in. And this is the Ogden Slip. We walk down that a lot. You can head right back to Michigan Avenue. Yeah, right there on the river. Yeah, get the umbrellas. So you can look that up online. You could do a search online. I appreciate you asking me, but I don't know when the finish date's going to be. If you go to their website, the 400 North Lakeshore, there might be news articles about it. You got the internet. Just do a ChatGPT or a Google search. Say, when is the, like what you asked me, you can ask it. It'll tell you the answer. I don't know. Thanks for asking. Here's the Ogden Slip. Here's the Ogden Slip. I think it's next year sometime, but don't quote me on that. They're getting pretty close, and there's supposed to be a second tower. So I don't know if they're going to put the second tower on hold or if they're going to start construction progress on the second once they complete the first. We'll find out. But here we're over by the mouth of the Chicago River. We got 12:39. Yeah, this is Chicago. How you doing? Chicago, Illinois, United States of America, planet Earth. Yeah. where you tuning in from. People tuning in from all over the world. I appreciate it. Thanks for letting us know where you're checking us out from. Appreciate it. We got 12:39 in the PM Central Time Zone. We'll head up to the bike path here. No, it's not the Hudson River. It's the Ogden Slip. It's the Chicago River. We're in Chicago. What's with the New York obsession? There's so many New York live streamers you can watch. Thanks for tuning in here. Salt Lake City, how you doing? That's good. Oh, you just said you're tuning in from New York. Hey, thanks for tuning in from New York. You're tuning in from the Hudson River. That makes sense. I forgot I asked that question. See, yeah, this is why I'm a bad live streamer. Most of the time when you live stream, you're just confused. You look down, you see a comment, you're like, where did that come from? Here's the Lake Point Tower. So here's the lakefront bike path. I got it all cleared up. Here we'll be able to see the Lake Michigan frozen, contrasted with the open blue water beyond the break wall here. See Lake Point Tower? Yeah, good afternoon, UK. How you doing there? Kenosha's tuning in. That's great. How you doing? Across the border there in Wisconsin. Nice and slippery, yeah. I'll slip in the lake. It'd be like Alexander Chicago's phone slipping into the lake. Yeah, you don't mess with that. Ernesto filmed that. He did a good job. Yeah, good afternoon. How you doing? Newbury, England. That's good. Shout out from the South Side. Hey, thanks for tuning in from Chicago South Side. Appreciate it. Very nice. Yeah, Park City Powder. Yeah, I hear they're going to cancel the Sundance Festival in Utah. It's been going on for years. I wonder what's causing that. That's interesting. But yeah, all the nice powder skiing there in Utah. So here's Navy Piers that way. Lake Point Tower. Oprah used to live there, but she's long gone. And see, look beyond there. Hey Lisa, hey May, thanks for tuning in. So you see how the lake's frozen. It's lighter blue and the white ice in the foreground. And then in the background is open blue water, which is the open water of Lake Michigan. It hasn't frozen. That's the whole North Shore of Chicago, looking north from Ohio Street. And we're by Ohio Street Beach here by Navy Pier, Chicago, Illinois. Yeah, have a great Wednesday. Yeah, the sky's blue. Look at the blue water. Look how blue the water looks because it's reflecting the sky and the shadows there. Yeah. So hey, 12:42. Yeah, we get to. But you see how the snow. Remember how we filmed it? We filmed it last week, and it was all the broken up ice that was jammed in here. It was like a bunch of little ice rafts all stacked on top of each other. And then the snow came this weekend and snowed on top of it. And then there's more open water out there. But this is Ohio Street Beach. We're seeing it on January 28th, 2026. How you doing? Yeah, it looks like the bike path is not cleared off. They cleared the bike path off to Oak Street Beach, but they didn't go this way. They think it's too dangerous probably for people to, they'll ride off into the lake or slip off into the lake. It's because that curve, the waves sometimes break up on that curve, and it's really dangerous. Hastings, UK. Yeah, this is Lake Michigan. So if you just tuned in, this is Lake Michigan, Chicago, Illinois. This is Ohio Street Beach. I forget that people don't know that the lake next to Chicago is Lake Michigan. You know, we live here, so we don't have to say it, but I know people are tuning in from all over the world. Appreciate it. So look, let's show this. So this is the lakefront bike path. And I rarely see it like this, where they didn't even make an attempt to clear off the snow or the ice. And a few years ago, if you might remember, there was a streets and sand garbage truck, city garbage truck, that was trying to go around that corner, and it actually slipped into a lake. So a Chicago garbage truck on this slope slipped into the lake, and that's why they probably didn't clear this off. They don't want people attempting to ride a bike up the lakefront bike path. Here, see They got it closed off here at Ohio Street Beach. This is the Chicago Lakefront Bike Path. Lake Michigan's frozen over here, January the 28th, 2026. We got 12 to 15 degrees Fahrenheit, -5 Celsius around there, maybe even colder. But Ohio Street Beach, and there's Lake Point Tower. Yeah, Hastings, east of London. That's good. Yeah, we just say the lake, Utah. Yeah, picture postcard. So hey, we saw the frozen lake. It's just in the harbor here. There's still open water up by Fullerton, but it's about to freeze over. It's really trying to freeze over, and we'll see if it happens. So hey, I got 15 minutes to get back to Michigan Avenue. Let's see if we can do it. Yeah, D. Michael, the Mojave Desert. So this is the central part of Chicago. We're not, north is that way, south side of Chicago's that way, west side's that way. East side's the lake, Jardine Water Plant, Navy Pier. We're right in the downtown central business district, center of the city. The last Sundance. They're moving because of her politics. Really? Oh, they're moving because of the conservative politics? Really? That's a shame. I wish they would stay, because that's wow. That's interesting. I'll look at it. Thanks for the good information there. But the last Sundance. Well, I hope you enjoy it. It's still a beautiful area of the country there. You got especially in wintertime, you got the mountains there, Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City's growing like crazy. You got some nice transit. And I know it most from like Big Love and the shows that showcase Salt Lake City. Remember that movie Salt Lake City Punk? I like that movie a lot. SLC Punk. You ever see that movie? Came out in the late 90s. It's about the only two punk guys trying to live in Salt Lake City in the 80s. They didn't fit in, no. They would talk about the 3-2 beer, how they had to drive to Wyoming to get the real beer. And people in Wyoming thought they were strange. In Utah, the people in Wyoming thought they were aliens. Like from outer space. But yeah, UK. So if you just joined me in Chicago, we're going underneath Lakeshore Drive. We were checking out the frozen lake. You can rewind and see it there. And wintertime in Chicago. Man, Louisiana. Oh, Dumb and Dumber. I think it might have been, I don't know about the second, like when they redid the movie. The first movie, they went to Aspen. It was Aspen. That's in Colorado. So that's another ski area. But yeah, Salt Lake City is like Aspen, but Salt Lake City is a big major city, in Utah, the largest city in Utah with a bunch of suburbs. And Aspen is a much smaller, wealthy enclave in the Colorado mountains there. Most notable, that's where, if you go up to between Glenwood Springs and Aspen, Hunter S. Thompson lived there until he died, until he killed himself. Hunter S. Thompson, who knows Hunter S. Thompson? It's moving to Boulder. Better infrastructure, increased capacity for growth, escapes to high cost. That's kind of rich. Boulder's almost as expensive as Aspen. Boulder's not a cheap city at all. I liked Aspen when Mork and Mindy was filmed there, but it always was kind of a hippie college town. Boulder, Colorado. Beautiful, beautiful. You got the Flatiron Mountains there behind there, and you can go to Estes Park. Rocky Mountain National Park's behind there. But hey, we're in Chicago, and we're heading down the street here. I don't want to freak people out here. They see a gimbal, everybody's like, oh, John Cusack was friends with Hunter S. Thompson. That's good to know. I know like Johnny Depp, when they filmed Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, he got to know him really well. I remember that. Maybe that's when John Cusack got to know him as well. Hunter S. Thompson was a strange bird. I liked his writing, but he'd be a hard guy to hang out with. Kind of intense, but in a good way. And he liked his firearms too. He was definitely a hippie that leaned to the left, but not on the Second Amendment. He was staunchly a supporter of the Second Amendment, which made it very. Those guys would do hallucinogens and then they get their guns out. It was horrible. I don't know how they could enjoy that. But here's Chicago, Illinois. We're in Streeterville. We're heading back to Fairbanks. I'll head back to the river. So we can get some more views of the icy river here. 1249, Chicago, Illinois. Thanks for checking it out here. Yeah, the ghost city. There's nobody here. It's all cold and ghost and fine with me. I'll be the last person living here. It'll be the empty city. It'll be like an apocalypse. Or be like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Post to him and Hunter S. Thompson. Yeah, there you go. Cusack. Yeah, he leans to the left. Well, so did Hunter S. Thompson, even though he was staunch supporter of the Second Amendment. And I know that scares conservatives. They don't like when liberals start carrying guns to protest. I know that they only want conservatives to be able to carry guns to protest, like Rittenhouse. Is my friend from Kenosha still tuning in? What do you think about that? You know, the federal government says, oh, we don't want people carrying guns to protest, and then they got Kyle Rittenhouse sitting next to the president in Mar-a-Lago. The president loves Kyle Rittenhouse, who killed 2 people at a protest in Kenosha, and then surrendered to the cops. And they didn't even arrest him. They just let him walk through the police line and act like he was a policeman, so it's okay for, I guess he had a license to kill. It's not funny. And we remember that in this city. Kenosha remembers it. That was in 2020, that summer of George Floyd protest. It was a very disturbing time in America. Here's, as we're going through now, we're going through another disturbing time in America. Doesn't history rhyme? Guess who's president? We're still going through chaos. They call this greatness. It's chaos for Minneapolis, you know. Political chaos. Here's, did you see Representative Omar? She was sprayed with a liquid when she was giving a speech. Some assailant sprayed some stinky liquid on her, and she was going to punch him. She lunged towards him, but her security got him, and that guy just looked like a little baby there after he sprayed it on her. I don't know what point he was trying to make. If he was trying to get a message across, he failed miserably because you couldn't understand what he was protesting besides Ilhan Omar. And of course, I'm sure it has something to do with the fraud in the Somali community there in Minneapolis, which is the left or the right wing bailiwick right now. They're all over that. That bothers them more than people dying in the streets. The idea of people are getting rich off the government, unless they're politicians, they're okay with that. Or president making money off the government. Or the president's family. And this extends to Hunter Biden. You know, I'm critical of Hunter Biden. He used his family name to make money off the government. So does the current residents of the White House. Make deals. We're skimming off the top. Here's, hey, Robert's Pizza. Winter's Jazz Club. Here's the Ogden Slip. So we were over on the other side. So here we got some more footage of the 400 North Lakeshore Tower here, Chicago, Illinois. And it's really getting tall there, the Ogden Slip. We got January the 28th, 2026. 12 to 15 degrees Fahrenheit. -5 Celsius or colder. There's looking towards South Lakeshore Drive. We're on McCurk Court. We're heading towards Chicago River. 12:53. It's huge. Yeah, go outside. Yeah, remember when someone threw a shoe at George W. Bush? They threw 2 shoes. That was after the Iraq War. He was giving a speech somewhere. I think it was in the Middle East, and a Middle Eastern reporter, I don't know where he was giving a speech at, but a Middle Eastern reporter threw his shoes at him, which is an extreme insult in many Middle Eastern cultures. The shoe is the lowest form of the foot is the lowest form of the body, and so the shoe, if you throw the shoe at somebody, it's like throwing poo at them. And that's a very rude thing to do, to spray a liquid on somebody. It could be acid, it could be like bodily fluids, it could be like pee, like deer piss or something, you know. What? I know people would throw pies in people's face. I remember in the hippie era, people would always throw pies in people's face when they were giving speeches, like Rockefeller. But here's the, it's hard to see with the sun here. We'll get you some more images of the Chicago River. We'll probably cross at Columbus here. Yeah, good morning. Bacon grease, or acid, I know. Yeah, the shoe. Yeah, the shoe thing was you know, it didn't hurt George Bush at all. He actually kind of grinned and was like, he was kind of laughing at the guy, like that's the best you got. You know, he dodged the shoe. And George W. Bush was a pretty good sport. Hey, the Centennial Fountain, here it is. The Milad's Centennial Fountain here, turned off. But hey, thanks everybody for supporting Ernie. His family's going through a tough time. Death in the family there, so he went up to Minneapolis. So we'll support him. We were talking about that earlier. And so tragic what happened to his cousin. And it's because of ice, you know. And here's the frozen Chicago River, and here's the frozen Centennial Fountain. So hey, this is a rare look of the Centennial Fountain in wintertime with snow all over it. We got January the 28th, 2026. We're by the Chicago River when it's frozen over. We got 12 to 15 degrees Fahrenheit, -5 to 10 Celsius. I don't know exactly where we're at, but here's the jagged frozen ice rafts. And we're here by Lizzie McNeil's. Hey, look, this manhole cover's open. You could fall through that manhole. And there's Darren. Let's say hello to Darren Monroe. There's the Trump Tower. What a view. Denmark. Kristen, how you doing? Hey, Chicago loves you. So which statue are you looking for? There's statues all over the place. There's a Streeterville, there's a statue to Captain Streeter, but I missed it. It was one block up from where I was at. We showed it before. We'll head over to Columbus Drive. Italy, ciao, how you doing there? Yeah, thanks for tuning in from Italy. Bella Bella. Yeah, you want me to fall in? You would love to see me fall into this river, yeah. Would you call the police if I fell in, or you just laugh at me? Be like, ah, look at this jerk. Let's watch him die and eat popcorn. Here's yeah, this is the Sheridan. I'm heading towards the Trump Tower. Yeah, I'll walk all the way up to Michigan and we'll cut over there. I'm generally heading back to work. And yeah, we'll just keep the eye on the river here. Yeah, you see it there in the background. There it is. Second tallest building in Chicago. Here's the St. Regis, another one of the tall ones there.
Probably just like in a...
Yeah, fuck MAGA. Fuck MAGA. I don't normally curse, but I'll curse with those. Don't you sense public sentiment shifting? You don't sense that the tide can turn and you think you got a mandate, and then the midterm elections come along, and then in the next presidential election some woke presidential candidate gets elected and they create a mass woke force to go into conservative rural areas, and with masked liberal armed people they'll force you to renounce your racism at gunpoint, and the people will fight and they'll resist. They'll be like, how can the tyranny of the government be so bad? We miss Donald Trump, let's bring him back. Columbus Drive. Trump's gonna die. Trump's not gonna live that long. Your dear leader. So what's your plan for after Trump? It's not going to be J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance is not going to be able to keep it together. It's not going to be the nepotism. It's not going to be the kids. The Trump kids are not going to be politically popular enough to get elected president. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do after Trump's gone? He's not going to live forever. He's already getting senile. And I know Biden was senile, but so is Trump. They're both senile. We got, you know. Trump's not being forthcoming with his health conditions. He's got some health conditions. According to him, he's in perfect health. He could run a mile in 4 minutes. He could do a triple backflip and land on his head. Yeah, Melania. Is that why they made the movie? Has anybody seen the movie? There's no way I'm paying to see it in the theater, or if it's on Amazon. Did Jeff Bezos make it? Is the Millennium movie on Amazon? That's perfect. Yeah, screw Amazon. I didn't use the F word because I'll reserve that for MAGA. There's the Trump Tower. Eat your heart out. Worship your false god there. America's greater than any president, including this one. We survived Biden. We'll survive Biden. We survived Trump twice. America's stronger than any president. And positive, negative, everything. I'm thankful the border's more secure. I said something positive about Trump. The border's more secure. Let's celebrate that. Let's just, why do we got to occupy the cities? You know, we're wasting a bunch of money. It's because I know you want to get all these people out of the country. Well, good. That's your opinion, man. You know, you got to do it. You got to do it by force, and people are going to resist. And then you're going to complain about people protesting in the street, blocking traffic. Oh, cry me a river. Your life was inconvenienced by this guy. A lot of other people's lives are inconvenienced by that guy. Here, we'll head up here. So, hey, thanks for tuning in here. We'll head up to, call it the Sears Tower. What statue? Why will you not tell me the name of the statue you're trying to look for here? Yeah, I like your comment there, Josh. Thanks for the good comment there. Yeah, I do suck. Why are you watching my channel? Change the channel. Tell me what you really think of me. maybe you're saying this man sucks. Okay, good. I don't know exactly what you're directing it to. Appreciate it. But here's the nice view to the Trump Tower, the Wrigley Building. Here, we'll head up here. We're on Upper Wacker Drive. How you doing? So, hey, see, the ice doesn't go much past the Michigan Avenue Bridge there. So, hey, we got 102. I'm going to sign off once we get to the other side here. And, yeah, I'm going to cross the street here. No, we missed it. I missed it. Okay. So, I guess we'll go this way. Yeah, failed businessman. So, hey, thanks everybody. Thanks mods and everybody else. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to Chicago. Or thanks for tuning in to Scenes of Chicago here. I'm going to go back to work. Here's your frozen river. But, hey, we'll see you after 5 o'clock tonight. Check out the reruns there. BrianReallyChicago.com. I'm on YouTube, TikTok, and Substack. Okay, we'll see you later. Enjoy the day there. Appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Grandma's Corners.